Hello, this is Rebecca here with Create with Rebecca, and today I'm back with a video to show you how to make this cute little autumnal tassel. I had it in one of my videos and I had someone ask if I would make it and show you how to make it. So I was like, sure, I'll do that. So basically, I'm going to show you piece by piece. So this is a bow made from, let me see if I can find it, this ribbon here. Purchased it at Walmart. It is the deal with the, I noticed with the ribbon is about the width. So in order to make a bigger bow, if you want a smaller, not so wide bow, then of course you'd go thinner, but me working with it, I do well with this size. It's a 1.5 inch, so that that is the width of it, 1.5. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So basically, I take a piece of ribbon in the size of, this is 7 inches, right? And I think I actually did 6.5, so let me trim off a little bit off of there. Just a tad bit. Not that that would matter too much, but again, you know, it depends on how big and wide you want your bow. So then you take your piece of 6.5 inch ribbon, and you basically just fold it on both sides equally. So I just kind of eyeball it. Sometimes it's kind of nice with this striped. You can just kind of match it up and match it up, you know, to that center stripe going down the middle. I'm actually going to overlap it just a tad bit because you're going to want to have the durability, because you're going to sew this. I know, don't freak out, sewing, but it's not that hard. Okay, so you've got your rectangle, right? And then you've got your folds right here. Okay, so what I do is I kind of just take it and I fold it and then I fold it. So right, this does not have to be neat. It doesn't have to be beautiful because you're going to cover it up with another piece of ribbon. So I just basically kind of squish it together. You know, it doesn't have to be real pretty. The main thing is you want them to be able to stay and look like a bow. So I kind of just squish it together like so. And then I take my needle, and this is just embroidery floss, tie a knot at the end, and then you're just going to run it through those folds. So see, it's going to start here. See if I can get it closer. Like, it's going to go here. I'm just going to run it up through all those little folds. Again, it does not have to be neat. You could do like kind of a weave in and out if you feel more comfortable with that. So I'm going to come up here and pull this through, and then I'm going to come back through the same way. And then you can kind of see I missed a kind of a point there, so I'm going to come back and make what I mean by a point. I missed a fold because it was pointing out. So I'm just going to come through here. Just make sure I get all the folds, because you're basically just wanting to create that like a little squishy part, a little gather. I know anybody that's done sewing is probably like, she has no idea what she's talking about, and I really don't. I've tried sewing, I've done some embroidery, I've done some on the machine, but I'm messy. I'm a crafter. I'm not a perfectionist in the sewing department. So I do the best I can, and I cover it up with embellishments. That's my trick. I know some are cringing, going, "What? You got to do it perfectly." But okay. So I'm basically just doing a couple of sweep throughs until I have, see, it's starting to look like a bow. So then I'm just going to tie this off. I may come through one more time. Like I said, I'm going to be covering this up, so my whole thing is I just want to create that gather. And then I'm just going to knot it off here. If you saw that, if you're not familiar with it, I basically just took it in, right? I just found another piece here, take it in, and then as it's doing its loop, right, I just put my needle back through that loop, and to me, there you have your knot. So I'm going to trim that off like that. And then let's seal the deal. Let's seal that little piece so it creates that. The other thing that's important too is making sure it's even on both sides. That's also an important factor in this. So what this is ribbon this is by American Crafts, and it's a it's kind of a heavier duty. It's glitter ribbon is what they call it, but it's more than just plain ribbon, and you can definitely use plain ribbon on here as well. I mean, that's definitely, you could use like some orange, or you know, if you had gingham in the same color, you could do that. But I'm gonna put glitter on here, so I just kind of eyeball the amount I need, because I'm gonna fold it over in the back. And I'm going to trim it right here, like that. Okay, so then I can tell I kind of made one side a little bigger, so I want to make sure I get that. I'm going to hide my ugly sewing, right? So I'll get my hot glue gun, and I'm going to just put it along one side here. I've had some issues with my hot glue gun lately. Like, the glue is not right or something. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to kind of lay that on there, and this is where you try not to burn your fingers. See how I just kind of folded it over that ugly, I call it ugly, but just that part where you sewed. And then I'm going to sweep it over, because see, I'm going to make that pretty little sparkle middle, and you don't see all your sewing. I just basically, and you know, maybe you could do the bow without the sewing, but for me it just makes it a lot easier to work with. Okay, I did it without burning my finger. That's good. Okay, so there you have your little bow. So I'm going to set that aside. And let me show you first really, I guess, what else you're going to need with this. So you're going to need a jump ring. I bought these off Etsy. I think they're beautiful. They're thick. They're pretty. They don't, oh, these open. But this side doesn't open. So, yeah, it was weird. It was like they were sealed together, but it's a really pretty jump ring, and I can still use it. Or split ring. I'm sorry, split ring. But I can still use it because how I'm going to create this, I just work around it. Then you're going to need 2 of these little split rings, and these are, I just picked these up at Hobby Lobby, but I'm going to use big ones. They're just teeny tiny. They're split rings too, where you can run your chain in. But I'm going to use 2 of those. And then I actually bought this chain from, I think it was Walmart. But any kind of chain we do. This is a double ring chain. So I thought that was kind of pretty. But basically, I'm going to use a piece of this, and I can go ahead and cut that. So get my wire cutters out, and then I'm just going to kind of measure this one. Let me get the ruler out so you know exactly what that is. So this chain is about 1.5. I'm going to do a 2-inch chain, maybe a 3-inch. I like mine a little longer, because you can always loop it around. I like to put it on my purse too. So not only my planner, but I like to use it on my purse. So I'm just going to come in with these and cut a piece of that chain. Hope these things are, there we go. Okay. So I got my piece of chain here. And then you need a lobster clasp. And I also ordered mine off Etsy from Bohemian Finding. She's got a ton of nice jewelry and really quick shipping. I'll leave her link below, actually, too, so you'll know where I purchased those. Okay, so you've got your, just to run through, you've got your large split ring, you've got your 2 small split rings, you've got your chain, and you've got your lobster clasp. Okay, so, oh, you know what? You do need one other thing, and I put some up here. Sorry, I pre-cut my ribbon too. Oh, and some teeny tiny rubber bands. And I'll tell you why on the rubber bands. I went ahead and pre-cut my ribbon because I didn't figure you wanted to sit through and watch me cut out ribbon. But the key to me making this is I love all different types of ribbons. So this is, I did 12 inches. All these ribbons are 12 inches. This is just kind of, I did thin ones, thick ones, plain ones, gingham ones, sparkly ones. I did my eyelash, which is part of my planner tassels that I do, another piece of gingham, some rickrack, and of course some autumnal cute little flower leaves. More orange, lots of orange in here, and then some like a rusty red. And then this is so pretty. This is a lace type ribbon. And then this is okay, so I'm a hoarder in a way when I find something that I truly think is beautiful and pretty and I don't want to use it. But a friend of mine, she knows I love vintage, especially vintage ribbon and things like that, and she picked this up for me at an estate sale. And I want to show you how it came. It's the neatest thing. It came in this clear sleeve like this. What does it say on the back? Trim Rights trims. But in this neat, I mean, it came all packaged like this, and so I've been hoarding it for a while, but it is time to use it. So, and I think it looks really pretty on there. So that was part of it. So you just do a collage of different ribbons. Then what you do is you come in here, you get your large split ring, and you're basically going to just pull these together and fold it in half over the split ring, and I'll show you how to do that. Typically what I do is I kind of start with the smaller ones first, like the smaller ribbons, like that. Once I get a pretty good amount, I just flip it through here, slip it through here, and then I flip it over like that. So where it's like halfway. So as you can see, I got need a little, pull it down a little bit more. Okay. So you got it all folded in half over the split ring. And then I just kind of hold this while I'm doing this. You got to use some major different movements of your fingers here. And then I go for the medium size ones. Keeping in mind that I want to be able to see, a lot of times if you fold them under, not necessarily, but you want to make sure you're able to see all the ribbons. Once you get those in there, you slip those in like that. Do the same thing, fold it in half. And you can make these as not so full ribbons as you want to like tons of like, as one of the ladies on Instagram told me, Ramona, you know who you are, Texas size tassels. And that just means the more the ribbon, the better. So, I put my rickrack. So then I kind of put that, I guess what I'm getting to is I added my eyelash, I added my rickrack. I kind of start doing my specialty ones because I want those to be more visual. You know, you really be able to see them. And another note is you want to be aware of how you're doing your colors. So you don't want to put all your reds together and oranges together. You want to make sure you mix those colors up. So next I'm going to do this. The lace, then I'm going to do the leaf because I really want, you know, it's autumnal, so you want to see your leaves in there. And then of course, being that this is my ultimate love ribbon, I'm going to put this on the top. Okay, so as you can see, you've got your tassel going here. And then you might just want to go in and kind of make sure everything's even, especially your specialty ribbons, and they're ready to go. So the next step is you've got them all lined up right there. They're pretty much right on top of each other. And that's when you take it, you get your rubber band. Now you're not going to see this ugly rubber band either, just like the sewing. And you're just going to squish those ribbons together. I might do it one more time just to kind of make it really squish, because I really want it to be, you know, secure. Like that, right? There you have it. You have your little tassel ring. So far so good, right? Okay. Then I come in here and I just kind of lay it out a little bit, make sure everything's in place. I have been known to redo one when I'm not happy with the way everything lays. Just come in here and adjust it a little bit. Make it more outward, because you got that rubber band in there, so it's holding everything in place, but you can kind of come in here and make it full. There we go. Now your eyelash, I love that it sparkles, but I don't want it sparkling up here next to that ring. So I'm just going to trim, excuse me, I'm just going to trim those little hairs off a little bit there. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is I'm going to get my sparkly ribbon again. And I'm going to come in here and cover up that ugly rubber band. So I'm going to measure this out right about here. And we're going to come in with the hot glue gun. Oops. And probably what I'm going to do first is, now I've done two different ways. So if you see on here, you can kind of see the fold of the ribbon, right? But I've done where you put the fold of the ribbon on top and it makes that bow too bulky. So I'm going to have this, the fold of the ribbon, if that makes sense, in the back. So I'm going to do this in the front, and this is going to be my back. So what I do is I just come in here with my hot glue gun, and I'm going to squirt it right in the center of that ribbon there. And I'm going to put that right in the middle. And then the key to me on folding this up, I want to do it nice and real tight, because you want it to have that squeeze look to it. So come in here with my glue gun again. I'm going to put glue on one side. Fold it over and really like kind of push it to where it gets tight as it can around that one side. And then you could even come in and trim it, you know, if you didn't want that big of a fold on there. The reason I'm not going to do that is I burned my fingers doing that. So, but I've done it. It's just, I'm okay with that. So then, just put a fair amount. I turn it back over, and I'm going to squish it as hard and tight as I can, and hope I don't burn myself. There we go. Aha. Okay. So, you've got your cute little tight tassel ready. Okay, so let's set that aside, and then we're going to work on our little chain. Now the teeny tiny split rings, what I do, especially like I said, in the case of this split ring not being cooperative, I come in here and I'm just going to add these teeny tiny split rings on each side. First I'm going to come in here with my lobster clasp, and I'm going to add it to this one. So with the split rings, it's really kind of tricky. I've ruined my paint on my nails before doing this, but that's just part of being a crafter. You got to go with it and get yourself messy, and you can always repaint your nails. Okay, so then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to add this to one of those rings. The trick is getting them open and getting it in there, because once you get it in there, then you can work around. Okay. Sometimes I have to open it with this side. Jewelry, I tell you what, if anybody out there makes jewelry, I praise you on it, because it is hard on the fingers. Okay, so there you go. You got your you know what, being that double chain, it has that one hanging. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut it. I don't like that just dangling there. Because see, I'd have to run it through both of the chains. So just keep that in mind when you're getting your chain. That was the one that I found that I liked, and I still like the double, but I don't want to have that extra hanging, and I don't see how I'm going to be able to hang it through that split ring. So, see how I did that? I put the split ring through the top of into the split ring into the lobster clasp, and then into one of the rings. So see, you really can't even tell that I cut that one off, but I cut that extra link out. Okay, so then you take your other split ring and you add it to the other side. Like this. Woohoo! First shot. Love it. Okay. Let's see here. There we have it. Okay, so I'm going to trim that one off. That little ring there. Okay. Now, you have your chain ready to go onto your... Now this is kind of tricky because these split rings and putting it on here, I didn't have any problems, so hopefully I won't have any problems doing it the second time on camera. So I'm going to open that up. It's going to take a little wider. I might have to take it off camera here and push it against my body so I can really get a opening here. Yeah, let's see here. Let's try this again. Let me look how I did this again. Yep, I just did one. Okay, I thought maybe I did a double split ring. Because sometimes if I can't get one, if you double them up, it's a lot easier. So I'm just going to take it off camera here for just a second and see if I can open this up and get this bigger one on there without any problems. Almost. The key is opening that split ring up wide, wide. Okay, it's being a little stubborn here. Let's try it again. You're like, come on, let's move it on. Let's get that split ring on. Let's move on with the video. We're wasting minutes here. One more time. Got it. There we go. We got it. Do not pop out. All right. Success. Oh. Whew. Okay. There we go. Telling you what, jewelry making will tear your fingers up. Okay, so now you've got your cute little tassel with the chain attached. Fighting it, but you won. Okay, so we're back to the front, and we're going to add the bow. Super simple, hot glue. That's it. Now what I like to do is kind of like smash the middle down a little bit, and now I smash the middle down so I make it a little flat because I don't want it to be too stick out. Then I'm just going to set it on there, and I'm just going to kind of squish it down where it goes. Try not to burn yourself if it seeps out. Now I do want to tell you, the hot glue, I use high temp. I don't use low temp. I know, and now if I'm working with my daughter and she's working, I'll pull out my low temp and glue and stuff. But if I'm doing my crafts, I use high temp. What I've noticed also is you don't risk the chance of it coming apart. I know that dealing with some hot glue, you're messing with it, and next thing you know, your stuff's falling apart. So I definitely do the hot glue. Now you could use an alternative like super glue, which would be just as well, but this hot glue here, I've had good results from it not leaking out. And there you have it. You've got your cute little autumnal tassel to be added to your planner. Let me pull out one of my planners here and I'll show you how I would add it. I'd add it to my planner. I could add it to my purse. So I would just come in here and link it through one of these chains. And then you have a cute little, and this is a personal size planner, you have your cute little planner tassel all ready to go. Now if you wanted to come in here and you thought this is actually a little longer, maybe I did like 8 inches on this other one. If you want to, let's do a comparison here. So yeah, it is a little shorter, almost a lot shorter. But, you know, if you wanted to come in here, we could trim these off a little bit. I do a diagonal trim just because I like it, diagonal. But you could come in here and just trim these off a little bit if you didn't want it, especially against that personal. But like your Happy Planner or your Erin Condren, it would probably be just fine. Or maybe even an A5. So you could always just come in here and trim your ribbons down a bit. But since I've made this on here, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to do a giveaway of this tassel. So if you want to leave a comment below, that's all you got to do, and I will pick a winner. What is today? It's Thursday, September 1st. So I'll pick a winner on Sunday. How about that? 3 days. Or Monday. No, Sunday. I'll pick a winner on Sunday evening. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.